My ticket was for $25 for, for a parking ticket, which I didn't have to pay, but regardless. The fact is, sir, you had that opportunity. You could have issued an amnesty. You could have done things right. You could have had these people legalized and in the process educated about our laws so they can use their own names. They have a license. They can get points in their license. There are serious consequences to violating laws. No, it's not going to happen. You didn't do it, and it's not going to get done, sir. Not with this woman. She just brought another 10 million people in. Definitely not with Harris. This is another one of your puppets. She's not going to need you. You can take a break now. She's going to run things her own way. But can we trust her? Absolutely not. Is she going to do right? No. She had 4 years to do things right, and things did not get right. They got worse, sir. We have 10 million people more that we don't know what to do. So now, here we are in a mess. And these are not difficult things to solve. When you have all those resources, and I remember when you had the BP oil spill, here you were sitting in front of us on TV, telling us, oh, this is the reason why we need to find new ways of clean energy. That was not the time to talk to me about clean energies. That was the time to talk about getting a plug, take care of the issue, and then talk to me about more green energies. At that time, you find a plug, okay? That's it. You cover it up, a cork, whatever. But you didn't. Your mind is not there. And this woman, obviously her mind was not there. Otherwise, she would have faced this issue head on. But now she wants us to believe that if we vote for her in the next 4 years, she's going to do all these things that she hasn't done. So I have no idea where to go with this. I know I'm voting for Donald Trump. I know that I can, even if I met him and I could sit down with him, I can talk sense into the men and say, sir, let's face this issue. Immigrants are here to stay. Whether we should close the border, but let's deal with what we have in here. Obviously, if they're gainfully employed, it's because we need them. Companies don't run unless they have employees. We need employees. So let's do things right. Let's, like I said, that amnesty, we document them and we educate them as far as our laws are concerned. And that's an easy task to do. It has to be done methodically so that we don't overwhelm the immigration services, sir. But it's got to be done. You missed it, sir. You had your chances. 8 legitimate years, 4 under the table. Now it's time for you to go. Vacate the White House for you and your cronies, the people that you bring in with you. That's it. We don't need this anymore. As far as Kamala Harris is concerned, the woman, I just listened to her yesterday on the debate. She made many points that make no sense. Absolutely no sense, except that to say, okay, they put everything on Joe Biden, the poor man. He was not going to run again. They knew it, so he got away with so much. That war between Russia and Ukraine, which she is the one who ignited that war. She provoked that war. But I'll talk about it another time. But she said something yesterday that really clicked, because I am a certified home health aide. And she said, let's help our senior citizens. They need help. And I said to myself, oh boy, they do. They really do. This is the first time that I'm taking care of people where they tell me that they can no longer afford a piece of steak and they miss it. First time, sir. They miss a piece of steak, an American thing. They want to have a piece of, they can't eat it. They can't buy it. Not that they can't eat it. They can't buy it. They can't afford it. So that was number one. But the other thing that really, really, really bothers me is the fact that, unfortunately, and I'm speaking here for New Jersey, I don't know what takes place in the rest of the country, but in New Jersey, most of the certified aides are foreigners. I'm a foreigner, sir. I met people from, Africa, Eastern Europe, Central America, South America, a lot of people from Haiti. But I would say the majority, and I would say 40% majority, are Jamaicans. Now, they are by far the more blatant ones, for good or for bad. If they have something to say, they say it. They have no fear. They're in your face. A lot of things I learned from them because I was shy in the beginning and I went above and beyond the call of duty. So I did learn from them. But the situation here is bad, the one that I want to talk about. During the last election, I was working privately. And therefore, I was no longer in contact, daily contact with other aides as I was when I was working these huge, beautiful facilities where there were all this, well, the one facility housed almost 1,500 people. Very, very nice, sir. I would love to be able to retire in one of those places, but I don't think I ever will. But the fact is, I met a lot of people there. And like I said, large number, even when I was going to school to be certified, 40% of them at least were Jamaicans. I got a lot of phone calls during the time that I was working privately because they want to work privately. People, home health aides love to work privately because they make more money. It's that simple. So they would call me and ask me if I knew anybody, and the fact is that I didn't. During election time, I got 3 phone calls. I got a lot of phone calls, but 3 that really, really bothered me. The fact that I'm a foreigner, I speak Spanish, the fact that I'm working as a home health aide. People tend to assume that we're all cut with the same pair of scissors, as we say in Argentina. Over here, we say from the same cloth. The fact is that I'm not. I consider the vote to be sacred, absolutely and totally sacred. I don't care who you vote for, as long as that vote is legitimate. Now, older people, senior citizens, need help with everything, and they don't have a problem telling you what they think. And most of them wanted to vote for Donald Trump. These 3 aides that I'm referring to had an issue with that because they say that money likes money. The fact is we all like money, but this was an issue for them. So they blatantly said, they asked me, first of all, who I voted for, and I said, it's my vote, it's private. I voted for Donald Trump, so here I'm being cautious. And they said, oh, you know, the people we're working for, our patients, they wanted to vote for Donald Trump because money likes money. But they needed help, whether their hands were trembling or they couldn't see well enough, and they violated this. This has nothing to do with the agencies that they work for, because the agencies have no idea what most of these states are doing behind closed doors. But they filled up those ballots, and they did not vote for Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, as they said it, they didn't vote for Biden. They voted for Kamala Harris in 2020, one of their own. That happened on 2020. Now, Mrs. Harris is running for the presidency. And therefore, Mrs. Harris, the VP of this country, since our acting president is not mentally able to do the right thing or do anything at all at this point, and I say that with all due respect, it is up to you, if you really love this country and you care about the sanctity of the vote, for you to do something to help those elderly people that you talked about. Yes, they need help, and the aides cannot fill their ballots. That's against the law, especially when they're violating their rights. This is not a wish. This is their right. So I want to see what you do, whether you have to call the National Guard and post them in every one of these buildings and offer the help that these elderly people need so their rights are respected. You're talking again against fraud. And then people are saying to me, oh, the past 4 years, oh, I'm sure there was enough fraud, but not enough to overturn the election. I have had enough fraud to last me a lifetime. I consider this an illegitimate presidency. You were there for 4 years. Now do the right thing and make sure that our votes count, and make sure that you do right by those people that have lived longer than any of us on this land and love this country, and they need to be honored and respected. And now it's up to you, because our President Biden cannot do anything. I don't know what Obama is doing. Hopefully he's vacating the premises and we'll never have to hear from him again. But this is up to you. You mentioned senior citizens. Let's see what you do. Let's put your money where your mouth is. Thank you. I will talk to you next week. I have my next video coming up, and it will be about another topic that Kamala Harris brought up, the environment. But don't think I'm going to address it the way you ever heard it before. I have a new take on it so you can understand it. Thank you. Good afternoon.